What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out Israel versus Iran. Who has the best weapons? This is a really cool breakdown by Sky News here in the UK. They've done like a bit of a presentation going over the weapons and the equipment that they've got, and this is going to be really interesting considering what's going on out there right now. And it'll give us a better perspective going forward if this does escalate, which I really hope it doesn't. With that being said, the news of yesterday when Iran was like something big's going to happen that's going to shock the Western world for centuries. It was a nothing burger. Surprise, surprise. And I'm going to actually talk about quickly about that before we move on to the stuff that we talk about at the start of the videos, where Iran and Russia and these countries, they give a lot of barking without a lot of bite. And it's all well and good while we're sat here chatting, watching this stuff, kind of in our seats here in the UK and in America where we don't really have to worry about it. But if you've got family that's out in the Middle East in the military or something like that, or even if they live out there, or if they're visiting out there, backpacking, or if they are based out there, then people really do worry about these big threats, even though they, for the most part, are nothing burgers. So if you do have family members out there right now, if you are watching this from being out there right now, please just stay safe. Please give your families a text. Just let them know you're safe, that you love them, that everything's okay, because their anxiety is probably through the roof, even though a lot of these threats are just nothing burgers. With that being said, I'll leave a link down below to the original video. Let's watch it. Let's break it down. Let's have some fun. Before we get started, though, check out Chug, the channel sponsor. 10% off. Link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world if you want something that will last a lifetime. Handmade here in the UK with sustainable materials. These things are phenomenal and they are selling like crazy. I honestly don't know how Chug are able to keep up because there's a lot of them going out and they are phenomenal. If you want to get free customization, a free bag, 10% off. You're not going to get a better deal anywhere else. Even the fat electrician in one of my videos said he was going to get one. Who'd have thought? So check it out. 10% off, link down below. Also, check out my new business, Morale. Got the hoodie. It finally arrived. This is the hoodie. If you back the Kickstarter, this is what you will get. It's phenomenal. It's got like a fleece. Like, it's so soft, guys. It's so warm and comfy. You're going to love it. I'm excited for you to get it. When you do get it, which the way it's going to work, so this was like the final sample. I have to approve this, which I've approved it today. That'll go to the people who are manufacturing it, who have helped make it for us. They will then put it into proper production. It will get sent here, to which I will package it up here, maybe leave a little cheeky note in for you, and send it to you from this office where I sit right now. So when you if you're a backer and you receive this, I have physically packed it myself and sent it to you. There will be stock left over, both for the hoodie and for the drink, which will be out at the end of this year as well. They're both going to be released to the public. We're aiming for the 1st of September, but it's going to be like end of August, beginning of September. All the stock will be here in this office, and I have to send it out personally, and you will receive this from me, okay? And there will be leftover stock. We've calculated for it. So get yourself over to drinkmorale.com, sign up, and you'll be first to know when that goes live. Also, check out Morale Boost, the new podcast. There will be an episode, coming out tomorrow, which is a really interesting subject about the encroachment of entertainment and business on the natural world here in the UK. I think that might be quite a touchy subject for some people, and it might be good to look out for. So if you like listening to podcasts, search Morale Boost on all your podcasting platforms. It'll also be on the Drink Morale YouTube channel. You can check that out and watch along. Anyway, that's all the admin out the way. Let's pull this up. Let's break it down. Again, I want to reiterate, we're looking at statistics here from the comfort of our home. If you're in the area, please just be aware. Please be careful. Look after yourself, okay? Let's get into this.
Israel and Iran have both been preparing for this confrontation for decades, so how do they stack up? Well, on paper, Iran far outnumbers Israel in terms of active and reserve personnel.
So we have to remember as well, Israel have a mandatory service. I've got some friends who live out there, and they would tell me about that everyone has to go out and do the military there. So this is the reserve here. As far as I'm aware, is when you leave the military after your mandatory service, you become a reserve for a little while after as well. So good numbers here. Iran has more numbers. However, from past experience of looking at the military, the Israeli soldiers are actually really, really well-trained soldiers. They are very, very well-equipped soldiers. I don't know much about the quality of the soldiers from Iran, but I do know that Israelis have really highly trained military.
Iran is a much bigger country than Israel, 86 million people to Israel's 10 million people. So the Iranians have got 960,000 personnel. Israel have got 634,000. But this war, of course, won't be about who has the more manpower. It's really about who has the best technology, particularly in the air war. And on that score, there is a clear and obvious winner. So let's look at the attack capabilities.
They've got 75 F-15s, which the F-15 might be one of my favorite aircraft. The absolute brute force and the power of that aircraft is insane. I mean, they've got the three best aircraft. I mean, three best. The F-22 is probably better than all three of them to some extent. But considering that the F-22 doesn't leave the US hands, it doesn't leave the US military, the ones that can be bought by other countries, the three best are the F-15, the F-16, and the F-35. You could say that the FA-18 is probably up there as well, but that's a little bit different, that one, isn't it? The F-15, the F-16 are both phenomenal aircraft, and it looks like, for the most part, their military is mostly F-16s. And they've got 39 F-35s. Like, that's pretty decent, isn't it? That's a decent amount of air power there. Like an accumulative of close to 300 aircraft in total. That's a good amount of aircraft.
Now, first, Israel's weapon of choice. Of course, there are its fighter jets, the F-15, the F-16, and the F-35. Very stealthy. The F-35 can get through radar defenses undetected. Very, very useful weapon system for the Israelis to operate. The Iranians, they operate much older Russian jets, and they've lost some of them. They don't work as well. And so
they just said that a bunch of them got downed as well. A bunch of Iranian, or not a bunch, and they didn't get downed. Let me rephrase that. A bunch of Iran's aircraft were blown up during this attack that happened a couple of days ago. So they didn't even leave the ground, but they were blown up. So their air power is even more diminished because of that. It just goes to show how much more powerful Israel is over Iran. And I also want to preface this by saying we're going to take out any bias in this. This video isn't about whether you're pro or anti-Israel or pro or anti-war with Iran. It's not about that. We're just talking about statistics today. If you want to watch my views on that stuff, you can watch the previous couple of videos I've done going over what I think the world believes right now, the world's leaning towards when it comes to Israel and Iran. But we're not going to touch on that. We're just talking about statistics here.
Instead, they've built up a huge stockpile of missiles and drones, and they include the Shahed 136 that we've seen much of in Ukraine.
Who makes the Shahed 136? We've seen this one quite a lot. Let me Google real quick. Who makes the Shahed 136? Who makes it? The manufacturer, let's have a look, is developed by Shahed Aviation Industries, which is closely affiliated with the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps. So they're actually made in Iran, also known as Jaran 2 when used by Russia, which rebrands it. So I'm it doesn't really answer me there. Is it made? Yes, so it's made locally in Iran, which is really, really interesting. Really interesting. It's not often that you get stuff like that where it's made locally these days, apart from America.
Imad, the Khorram Shah, big missile, but this one, the Fatah. There's a whole family of Fatah missiles. They work. The most modern versions of them are thought to be hypersonic, which are really very difficult to defend against. In total, it's estimated that the Iranians may have 3,000 of these ballistic missiles. Most estimates would say it's probably nearer 2,000, but undoubtedly they have a lot of them, and they could keep throwing them at Israel over the coming days and weeks if they chose to do that.
Which they are choosing to do that. We've seen that. We've seen some missiles go past the Iron Dome of Israel. Again, I don't really care about your political opinion right now. What I do care about is civilians on the ground, and keeping people safe, keeping children safe, keeping families safe. If you are in Israel or Iran, if you're watching this, please make sure you're in a safe spot. I've said this many times in these videos. It's very easy to be like, it won't happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. We're safe where we are. It's not worth it. If you've got a family, prioritize your family over the egos of leaders of countries, please. That's what I believe in. If the UK decided that they were going to go to war with someone and it was hitting soil here in the UK, I know I was in the military in the UK, but my priority are my two beautiful children that I love to bits, and my priority would be getting them to the other country that they're citizens of, which is America, and keeping them safe. And I really want you to believe that same thing as well.
And Israel claims that Iran was building up the capacity to manufacture 300 ballistic missiles a month. And that, with their ranges, would put Israel and hundreds of US bases in the crosshairs around the region. So if you look at a range map, undoubtedly, the Iranians have a big capacity building in terms of their ballistic missiles and their drones.
That's a great image right there, actually. If you are in the US military and you're at one of these bases, or if you're in any other military and you're at one of these bases, including like the Bahrain base, which is where I've been, which is a beautiful base, which is an American base. Again, just keep your head screwed on. And I know it might seem like a nothing burger to you, right? The chances, say that you are based in Bahrain, the chances of something happens to you are quite slim. But your family at home is seeing news like this all the time. They don't see, they don't have the same atmosphere that you probably have on base, right? So make sure you're keeping in contact with your family and reassuring them that everything's good. And even one of the big things that I know helps reassure, because we get told in the military, is let your family know the mundane stuff that you're doing. If you're just going out working at the gym, if you're in one of these bases within this zone, and today you've got the afternoon off and you're going to the gym, let your family know, I'm just going to the gym today. Because that mundaneness for you is what they don't see. Okay? So let them know that mundane stuff. That was something that we got taught in the military, is to ease anxieties of families. Let them know the boring stuff you're doing. Because then it doesn't seem as worrying. Because for all they know, they might be like, oh my God, they're on guard constantly. Tensions are high. They're running around. Like, for the most part, they think that's what's happening, especially if they weren't in the military. So let them know the mundane things.
Now, over the years, Israel has the most advanced defense system in the world, and it's built it up. And it's getting support from United States assets in the region. And that system, most people call it the Iron Dome, but Iron Dome is only one type of missile. So there's the Iron Dome missile itself, there's David's Sling, which is a high-altitude, short-range, very fast missile, and there's the Arrow 3. Probably the best of the whole bit is the Arrow 3. That probably works the best of all.
Yeah, but it also, doesn't it cost like over $1 million per missile?
But between them, as well as with some Patriot missiles, they create this sense of a dome, a multi-layered dome that sits on top of their population centers that can cover the whole country, because it's a small country, and give them close to 100% protection. But of course, no system will ever give you 100% protection. Now, you can see here, action over Tel Aviv. A few missiles did...
This footage is just, it's haunting. It's haunting. And with the modern world, with technology, you're seeing more people recording with their phones and stuff. When you see stuff like this, I seen a video of someone recording with their phone and they're watching, missiles go up and get them out the sky. And then all of a sudden one passes and it hits the ground nearby. It's terrifying.
Get through. But the vast majority were intercepted. But no system is ever 100%, because any system can be overwhelmed with sheer numbers. And in that respect, we know that Iran does have the numbers. But in contrast, Iran's air defenses are older, they're weaker, and they've been badly hurt by Israel already.
We did a video on this yesterday about how successful that mission was that Israel did that destroyed a lot of stuff. You should check that out.
Now, the IDF have actually looked at some of these systems. The S-300, an old Russian system, doesn't work that well these days if you know where it is. The Korad 15 and the Tactical Hunter. They're okay, but they're quite old. And the IDF...
And the detection range isn't amazing, is it? Wow.
Has released these images of them attacking Iranian surface-to-air missiles near Tehran. And there they are. If they can spot them, they can destroy them. They've got enough intelligence to know where they are, even those which are mobile, like the S-300. Once they've spot them, then effectively they're dead if the Israelis decide to go for them.
That's the thing. Like this is the big point, right? A couple F-35s, a couple F-15s or F-16s, now they know where they are. They can go in and destroy them. And they can do it from a range where these won't hurt them. That's the thing. the dominance of the air power of Israel is quite substantial compared to Iran. I think Iran are obviously turning around and saying, oh, we shot down F-35s, which if you've seen that malarkey is just absolutely insane because the images they're putting up are so AI generated, it's almost painful to look at. But Iran are telling their citizens that they have the airspace, which is not the truth in any way, shape or form. And then they've basically taken down the internet in Iran. There are a lot of good civilians in Iran that don't want this regime in place. They don't want to live in a country that's controlled by the people that are controlling it. It's a lot more complicated than Israel, bad guys, Iran, we don't want to go to war with, leave them alone. It's a lot more complicated than that. The rights are different in Iran. That you can point the finger at Israel and be like, they've done a lot of bad things. And we're getting into a bit of opinion here, I guess. But it doesn't matter. In this instance, it doesn't matter because Iran are significantly weaker than Israel. Significantly weaker. But they're shouting like they're not. Does that make sense? And a lot of the Iran population know that and are being gaslit by the Iranian government by taking down the internet, giving them false information on the TVs. However, I'm pretty sure Starlink has been opened up there so people can get the internet, which is a good thing.
Finally, Israel has the one thing that they don't want Iran to have: nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
The Jericho 2, which is a nuclear weapon tipped missile. The Israelis will never confirm or deny whether they have nuclear weapons, and they deny that they are running a nuclear program in this way, but we all know that they are. They have the Jericho 2, it is nuclear. The Iranians would love to have what the Israelis have had for years. And in response to these attacks, the Iranians talk a very good game. They talk big, and they can certainly hurt Israel. But in a war of the skies, which this is going to be for some time yet, Tel Aviv certainly has the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good video. It's a good breakdown there with some statistics. But the truth is, Israel do outweigh Iran in many, many different ways. And I think with the backing of America, which seems to be the case right now, that gap is almost infinitely larger. My biggest take from this, and take away all opinions on what you think of Israel and Iran and current situations with Israel and Palestine and stuff like that, taking away all them opinions, I just don't want lads to get boots on the ground in Iran. I just don't want it to happen. We'll start losing lads. Things will start happening. We don't want it again. We don't want to send boots on the ground out there again. We don't want to be drawn into another, multi-year war unnecessarily. This can be done in many other different ways, and it doesn't have to involve US or UK boots on the ground. I hope that's not what we get to. I'd love to know discussions in the comments. I didn't know this, but if you go over the comments on the past two videos talking about this stuff has been fantastic. It's been really nice. There's been a lot of really good conversations. If you go to the app, the YouTube app, there is now a visit community button. And if you click on there, there is now basically like a big forum on here where we can all communicate and we can all talk our opinions. I highly recommend you go on there and we can talk about the latest videos and talk about what's going on and comment on things. And it's a very exciting time for us to be able to form this community and have really important and valuable discussions. Even if you disagree with some people's opinions, I think it's really important so we can grow as a community and get better. I think that this is not going to slow down. I think this is going to keep getting worse and worse, although I hope it doesn't. I hope, it's Thursday now. I'm hoping by the end of the week it's slowed down dramatically, but I don't see that happening just yet. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out Chug, 10% off link down below, and check out Morale, the new business that I'm incredibly excited for. If you are out in these areas, if you have got family in these areas, please stay safe, give them love, look after each other, and keep switched on. Okay, guys? Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.